Hey, everybody. I wanted to go live today to tell a story that about my first client, and I've been wanting to tell this, or I haven't been wanting to tell this. If I'm being honest, I've not wanted to tell this story, and I know that I need to tell it. Um, so it came to me a few months ago. God was saying, "Speak the story out. Share it," and I just I didn't want to. I didn't feel comfortable. I just didn't want to tell it. So I'm going to tell it today for the first time in this level of detail. So my first client, when I started on YouTube just like, yes, I'm about to be sharing my story and showing people how I lost weight, and hopefully I'll help so many people. And then people started asking me to help them, right? Like actually help them, not just like share videos. So I was like, okay, I'll put out a post on Instagram and say, hey, I'll bring some people into my coaching program. I'll be a coach. And Cardi, you'll see her picture here. She was the first person who reached out and said, hey, I want you to coach me, and I'll pay I think it was like $99 a month at the time. And so I was like, yes, let's do this. So I created a program specifically for her, and we started working together. First thing I asked her is, what is it that you want? Like, what's going to make you keep going on this? Um, when I met her, she told me that she had been on and off diets since she was like 15 years old. She'd been on multiple medications for that long as well. And that really what she wanted was to be able to have a baby. She wanted to lose the weight and she wanted to have a baby. She had lost her mom when she was really young, and she wanted to be there for her daughter. So the main thing she was struggling with was always, she would start a diet and then she would fall off. And so I told her, I was like, okay, so we'll work together. I'm going to show you how to do this keto thing, and I'm going to give you exercises. I'm going to keep you accountable, and we're going to make this thing happen. And so we were working together for like 6 months. By 6 months, she was down over 80 pounds. Actually, by 4 months, she was down 80 pounds. And then she hot girl summered it. And then, next 2 months, she still lost another 6 or 7 pounds. And so then within a year, she was down like 125 pounds. And I was so proud of her. She was so happy. She felt good. She looked great. She was living her best life. She was off of her medications. Like I think she was still on maybe one medication, but everything else was done. And her period it regulated. She was feeling amazing. And I was so proud of her. So, she had completed my program. She graduated. She reached her goals. And so she was off living her best life. And we reconnected about 6 or 7 months later. She texted me and she's like, Ileka, I'm pregnant. So I'm crying, I call her, we're talking, we're crying on the phone. And she's like, I'm having this baby. I'm like, I can't, oh my goodness, like this is the best. This is exactly what you wanted. You're living the life that you wanted. And so she has the baby 9 months later, and she's feeling good. She actually didn't gain much weight back with the baby. She was, still working, doing her best, and just feeling amazing. She had actually also gotten like several promotions. So now she had this new baby, and she went from like regular social worker to like director or something at a hospital. So she was doing incredible. And we didn't talk for the next few months because she had the baby and she was working, and I was running my business, and so I was helping other women. And then about a year after the baby was born, she reached out to me and she's like, Ileka, I really need your help. And I'm like, okay, so what's going on? And she's like, I've I've gained all my weight back, like every single pound. And I was like, oh my goodness. And so at that moment, to me, I'd failed. Like, if I've worked with you and you gained your weight back, that means I failed. And so I started looking back at other clients and seeing that the same thing was happening. All my clients were gaining their weight back once they stopped working with me. And I'm like, that's not what we want. So I had already started seeing that. So I'd already started doing like some extra mindset coaching and mindset work. And I started to see that this is what was going to change things. So I was like, Cardi, let's jump back in the program. Let's get this thing going again. And she was like, okay, I can do it. So I got her back on the workouts, back on the eating. And I was like, we've got to still have some sessions because we've got to do some major mindset work so that this time as you're losing the weight, you can keep it off. And so we would try and schedule time to meet, and she was ghosting me. She just couldn't make the time. Um, she was no longer a priority in her life. She had a toddler, and she had this major career now, and it just wasn't the same for her. She kept saying, I don't have time. I would text her. She would respond back to my text, but it would take days, and she would never respond to calls or come to meetings that we had scheduled. She would always be like, oh, I couldn't make it. And I'm like, come on, Cardi, please, let's do this. We got this. Let's get back on it. And she's like, I keep messing up. I'm going to McDonald's. I keep messing up. I'm like, let's prioritize you. You got your baby. You got this life that you want. Let's make this happen. And I was like, and I wasn't even charging her. I was like, I'm not charging you what I normally charge now. Like I gave her the original price, like my first client price, which she was my first client. That's the price I gave her. So it wasn't like it was costing her anything. I'm like, let's just do this. I was like, you know what? Forget it. I'll just do it for free. Just let's do it. And she was like, I can't, not right now. I'll reach out in a couple of months. And so about 6 months later, um, she passed away. So she was back on all of her medications, and she was working in the hospital. And so COVID got her, right? And I've never, I remember the day and the moment I found out. Uh, it was crazy because I posted on IG. She always said I could post any picture that she had, you know. So I posted one of her pictures like, hey, you know, I'm so proud of her. And, you know, we're about to get it back going again. And, you know, the story, I posted like the story. And somebody responded back and they said, man, they said, why would you post this? This is so disrespectful. This girl's dead. And I was like, what? And they said, and I was like, are you kidding? And I called the person. I didn't even know who the person was. I literally called them. And I was like, are you kidding me? And they didn't answer. I called the person through IG. They didn't answer. And I was like, stop, you're lying. So then I called Cardi, and she obviously she didn't answer. So then I started looking her up on IG and looking her up on Facebook and trying to reach out to her sister, and then I started seeing RIP everywhere I looked. And I was like, oh my God. I couldn't believe it. Like, when I tell you it was the worst day of my life, it was literally the worst day of my life. Like, when this happened, I remember I was in the car in my garage, like just randomly scrolling through. And I remember saying, I remember like, I remember just pulling down like posts on IG. I was like, I'm not even going to do this anymore. Like, to me, once I felt like it was my fault. I felt like I could have tried harder. I could have tried harder to help her again. I could have done more. And because I didn't, now her baby doesn't have a mom. And so this was a major, major struggle for me. And it still is, obviously. And when that happened, from the moment that happened, I was like, I actually stopped taking new clients for probably 6 months. I started digging heavily into the mindset coaching because I was like, if we could shift people from thinking that they don't have enough time, that they can't do this, that everything else comes before their health. If we could change that, then we don't have to lose anybody else. Because our health is so important. If we aren't healthy, then we can't be there for our kids. We can't have that job. We can't do all the things that we're trying to do. And it's just is it was just too much. And so I was like, we can't, if we don't have our health, then we can't do anything. So I really was praying about it because I was going to be done. I really was. Um, and yeah, Marsha, like you're saying, yeah, it is the story of so many. And I was gonna stop. I was gonna can't close down my entire business, like go back to corporate and not do any of this anymore. And I was praying, and God was like, "You can't. Like, if I stop today, or if I stopped when I found out, then I wouldn't help. I wouldn't be able to help other people. I wouldn't be able to do this anymore. I'd be basically living a life that I didn't want to live. I want to be here to help people, especially women, especially moms, understand that in order for you to be there for your baby, you got to be there for you. You've got to prioritize your health. And now everybody that I work with, I sit there and I look at them and I think of Cardi, because if we had just been able to, if I, here's what I think. If I had the mindsets tools that I have now, back when we were working together in 2018, then she would have kept the weight off. And then she would be able to have her baby and she'd be here. But because I only knew how to help her lose the weight, I didn't know how to do the rest. I didn't understand. And so I really blamed myself for a long time. And I still think about what if. I still hold on to that. And that's grief that I've got to work through. But I wanted to share this story because if you are out there and if you're someone who's thinking, I've got time, you know, this isn't that important, or you may not be saying this isn't that important, but you might be saying, you know, I'll start next week. I'll start on Monday. I can't do this, or I don't have time for this. Then I want you to think about Cardi. And I want you to do it for her, do it for you, do it for your kids, do it for the people that love you. Because, you know, I always talk about how as moms especially, and honestly as women, we don't tend to put ourselves on the list, on the priority list. And no one's saying you gotta be, you know, oh, you know, it's all about me. But at the same time, if you are working yourself, if you are working 10-hour days, 12-hour days, you're constantly working, and then you come home and you're taking care of kids and cleaning up and doing all these things, and you aren't taking care of you. What happens to all those things if you aren't here? Like, that is the biggest thing. What happens to all those things if you're not here? What happens to all those people, those that love you? I was Cardi's coach and friend, and I was devastated. Can you imagine how her sister feels and how her baby feels? Cardi grew up, her mom passed away when she was really young. And now the same has happened to her baby. And and it's because we love so hard, right? That's what it's all about. We love so hard. You love your kids and you love your husband and you love your friends and you love your parents and you love your cousins and you love all these people you love so hard. And so you want to do so much for everybody. And then at the end, everyone, everybody that you know would rather have you here than have you doing the things for them that you feel like you need to do for them. They'd rather have you. So I want to um, close this because I don't know if I can even talk anymore. But I want to share with you this, like, prioritize your health. When you prioritize your health, choose your health, then you get to be here for them. You get to do the things that you want to do with them. You get to, if working is your passion, you get to work all those hours because you're healthy. You get to hang out with your kids, run around and play with them, and be at their graduation and be at their whatever. Like, we can only control the things that we can control. In our health, especially when it comes um, to things like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, all those things, we get to control those things. We can. You can. And it comes down to nourishing your body the right way, eating the foods that are going to give you energy, eating the foods that are going to help to heal the body versus hurt it. It comes down to moving the body, because when we don't move it, we lose it. And it comes down to that self-care. And self-care, I posted today on Instagram, I was like, self-care is not just spa days, right? Self-care is rest, getting some sleep. Self-care is exercise, it's movement. You get to take care of yourself by moving your body. You get to take care of yourself by eating eating in a way that's going to help you to heal your body. You get to take care of yourself, heck, and by doing spa days, right? By praying, meditating, spending time reading. Like, there's so many ways to take care of yourself, to have that self-care in there. But you've got to prioritize it. You've got to prioritize you and your health. It's so important. And I feel like number one, oh man, I feel like Cardi wanted me to share this. I literally prayed on it and I could hear her saying, tell it. And I didn't want to tell it. I didn't want to tell it because when you tell it, that's when it's really real. And I don't want it to be real. And I know for everyone out there, there's someone that loves you that doesn't want this to be your story. So if you are right now struggling with diabetes, high blood pressure, excess weight, whatever, right? It's time to prioritize your health. It's time to prioritize you. It's so important. I had to do it for me and my family. I didn't have any diabetes or any of that stuff. I was really I was obese. I I was about 120 pounds overweight, 130 pounds overweight, something like that. I had bad knees. My knees were awful. They were in horrible shape. My back hurt all the time. My feet hurt all the time. Those were my ailments. But I also wanted to play with my kids. I wanted to run with them, and I wanted them to see that you can be healthy. And I needed it to be easy. That was the biggest thing for me. I needed it to be easy. So that's what I do now. I make it easy for me. I show on here how to make it easy for you, and I show my clients how to make it easy for them. Yeah. Erica says, I need to have everything you mentioned. I need to figure it out. If you, I don't know if you're on Facebook, but we have a Facebook group where we share stuff like this. And you can always reach out to me. If you go to the description of my videos, any of my videos, you can always connect with me if you need help. To me, this is Our health is our most valuable asset for anybody that talks in that way, right? That's kind of how I think about things. Sometimes I can think about things as assets or things as what's valuable, right? And we look at things like diamonds and gold and money and houses and vacations and trips and all these things is so valuable, right? They're huge assets. These are amazing. This makes me feel good. It makes me, look flashy or whatever it is, right? But none of those assets matter. None of that matters unless your health is good. Um, so Deborah's saying, hello, beautiful. I am looking to lose weight and I feel that this video could benefit me. I am late, but I will review. Yeah. Deborah, definitely watch the video. I can't talk about it again because I can't handle it. Check out the video and you can always look at the description. You can always reach out to me and we can connect at any time. Oh gosh. I'm sorry, guys. I gotta go. I can't, I don't think I can handle much more. This was really tough for me. Normally on lives, I'm like all happy, go lucky and stuff, but this was one of the toughest things that I've done. And I wanted to do it. I wanted to share this because I wanted to honor Cardi and share her story, share this amazing thing that she did. She's she was I think she was 29. Yeah, she was 29 when we started. And she had been told by doctors that she wouldn't be able to have kids because she had PCOS and, she'd been on medications and all these things. And she was always told that she was led to believe that she wouldn't be able to lose the weight because of, whatever, right? Whatever reason. She was constantly told, she had been trying forever. Before we started working together, she actually had connected with a coach on Instagram, paid for the program, and the person never delivered the program. And so when we started working together, she told me that that's what happened. And she was like, so I'm scared to pay. And I was like, well, pay through PayPal because you can always get your money back. That's what I told her because I knew that I was going to be able to help her. But I didn't think that, I'm glad to have known her and I'm blessed to have known her. I'm blessed to have helped her. And I'm blessed to have been a part of her story as she was able to live her dream. Because I remember she was getting her master's degree at one point because her dream was to have a really great career in an area that helped people. And so that's what she did. And have a baby and be a mom. And she got to live that dream. And I'm honored to have had any part of that. And I know that she is now looking down at her baby and smiling and seeing how her sister's taking care of her baby. And she's yeah. So I just say it was important to her to prioritize her health. That was important to her. And what got in the way was love, right? It's the love for family. So she wants to be there for everyone. The love for her career, again, being there for everyone and putting everyone and everything first. She was thinking it was only going to be for a little while she got on top of things. And then she would prioritize her health again. And that's why it's so important to know that the time is now. You prioritize your health now. Because when you do it now, then now you're taking action. And now anything that happens after, you've already prioritized your health. You're already on top of it. Everything else can come after. You can still do the other stuff because it doesn't have to be hard. It gets to be easy. It gets to be simple. And it can all work. I promise you. The biggest thing, the most important thing though, for anyone that's listening, it's not just losing the weight, but it's keeping it off. You get to keep the weight off. And that's where this comes in. And that's why this became such a huge part of everything that I do now. So if you follow me on YouTube, you'll see how I changed. I shifted into talking a lot about mindset and about the mental aspects of weight, because that's what, that's why, my clients are keeping it off now, keeping the weight off now. Because when you shift here and you change your relationship with food, you see the huge difference. So, all right, guys, thank you all so much for watching and for, you know, for sticking with me through that conversation. That was the toughest conversation I've had, or the toughest thing, toughest live I've ever done. I couldn't even do it in a video because I couldn't watch back. And you know, when you do your videos, you got to watch the edits, and I knew I couldn't do that. So I had to go live and do this. So thank you guys for being here. You can always reach out to me. I've got like information in the description of my videos. You can always reach out to me for DMs and stuff like that. I host challenges and I help people. You know, I'm a mind, body, and weight loss coach. And I work with women who are looking to lose those 20 plus pounds that they've been going up and down on for the last decade or so. And I have a methodology called Simply Transformed, where using that methodology, I help them even if they've tried other diets and failed. I help them lose the weight and keep it off for good this time, because that's the key. It's so important. All right, so I'll talk to some of you guys later. I forgot I do have a challenge. I forgot I got a challenge starting on Monday. I can't even talk right now. I do have a challenge starting on Monday. If the information's in the description of the video, if anybody wants to get started or see how I work, then you can always look for that and check that out. And really take action on your health. It's prioritize your health, prioritize you. It's so important. And you get to do that. And it gets to feel good. And you get to be healthy. And it gets to be easy, simple. That's why my methodology is Simply Transformed, because it's simple strategies, simple solutions, simple steps. Right? Because it's got to be simple. And I wish I had that when Cardi and I talked. Because if she knew how simple it was, how we can make it easy again. Like I always say, press the easy button. If she would have known that, if I had that process when she came back, she'd still be here. I know it, because if it was simple, she could have done it, and it would have fit into her lifestyle. And that's what it does now. I didn't have that then. That's what I had to create, because I couldn't handle that I lost her. So, all right. I hope everybody has a wonderful night. I'm sorry if I brought anybody's night down. I'm trying to hold in the tears right now. And you guys, if you've been watching for a while, you know that I cry. I cry for stuff that's not even that tough. So this was really, really hard on me. All right. So have a great day, everyone. Some of you guys, I'll see you in the challenge. Some of you will DM me. Some of you will continue watching. And for all of you, though, it's important to prioritize your health. So if that looks like joining the challenge, if that looks like reaching out to me to work with me one-on-one, if that looks like reaching out to another coach or whoever, prioritize your health, because it's about losing the weight, improving your health, and sustaining the good health, keeping the weight off for good. And that comes from here. We got to understand where the weight's coming from, what the root cause of the weight is. Who is it helping? Who is it hurting? Who is it protecting? That's what we do in my program, because That's how we can get it off for good. All right. So I love you guys. Thank you guys for sticking with me, and I hope you all have a great day. Whew, that was tough. I'll probably go live tomorrow, but it won't be about this. All right. I'll talk to y'all soon. Take care.